There's a chef named Hank Shaw. He has several books out, but one of my favorites that he does all wild game, and it's Buck Buck Moose is the name of the book, and some unreal table fare recipes. But he has a jerky recipe in there that is really really good.
Well, I actually brought the website up. Let's see if we can do it. Yeah, right there. He's got it, the book Buck Buck Moose,
Yep.
and it looks like it's 26 bucks is all. It's on
Yeah.
sale, normally 30 bucks.
It's a great resource as a cook, as a hunter. So I use his. I rip him off all the time. If I cook something really good, it usually is going to come from one of his recipes, either something that I've done and made a variant of it. But he does a really good job of presentation, and
Yeah,
his his approach isn't just the typical. He does a lot of kind of more of an exotic kind of multicultural approach to food. So there's some Chinese dishes in there. There's some German. There's a really he does a good job with he does some web stuff too, which is any of those guys that are taking what we like to do from a hunting perspective and turning it into good food. I'm going to pay attention to because that's you know I think we have these. You go through these stages as a hunter. I know I did where I wanted to kill the biggest buck and the big moose and a bear, and I had all these. And then what's funny is it started out as putting food on the table. Then, not that I ever turned into a full-fledged trophy hunter, but I was all about. I mean, it was still very valuable food wise. But then now it's back to man, I want to kill something so that I can eat it. I want to make
right.
sure that it's going to be and so people like Hank Shaw do a really good job of taking what we love and turning it into gourmet food.
Yeah, and that's always, when I first started, trying to cook them, I had no clue how to cook them. So you go through and you overcook them, and now I have more tendency to undercook quite a ways, and it's like, okay, I need to put it back on because it's still raw,
Yeah,
and so I'd rather do that than have it overcooked because
yeah,
it gets tough and it doesn't taste good, and to me it's almost like tasting like liver.
yeah, and you certainly don't want that. I mean, especially if you're cooking for someone else. We don't want our food to taste bad at all. But there's a lot of times I'm entertaining people, and they're eating wild game for the first time, and I want to make sure that I do it right. I want to make sure that the flavors are there. I want it to be something that they've never really had before. They've had the flour and fry it version of it, but I want to be able to cook something. I know recently, my daughter loves like Korean food, and she said something about she had a craving for a Korean bowl, and I'm like, okay, fine. So I went and I made a Korean bowl with using, I think it was just the one of the roasts that I had, and turned it, pickled some vegetables and made a Korean bowl for her. And I, of course, ripped off Hank Shaw, the guy that we
Right.
just looked at. But we made a Korean bowl, and she's like, "Dad, this is one of the best things I've ever had in my life." I'm like, "Well, I'm glad because you can take wild game and turn it into just beautiful food." So
Right. Yeah.
I think it's great. I think it's great if people were to get on Hank's website and support him, that'd be fantastic.
Yeah, and we'll get them out there, and I know I'm gonna want to get a couple of those books, at least the
Yeah,
Buck Buck Moose, because I do more of that stuff. But
right.
even even the recipes in there, if you have beef, you can still do the same recipe.
Absolutely. Yeah.
A little bit
Yeah.
different flavor because the beef instead of the deer, but
Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, there are lots of times where, if I'm looking for something, I did a beef Wellington not too long ago, but it wasn't beef. I used the backstrap off a whitetail and made a Wellington out of it. And, it's as good or better than any beef Wellington I ever had.
oh yeah.